Yay! That startled me. That's funny. Like it actually worked. Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this lovely evening? I am so glad to be here talking to you tonight. So glad, in fact, that I had written down some notes that I wanted to make sure that I shared with you, and I totally forgot them before I came and got in front of my camera. So we're going to wing it tonight. But what I wanted to do is there are so many of you who have uh, joined my Straight Talk Women, Careers, and Money group on Facebook. There are so many of you who have been following or like daily started to follow my Facebook business page and me on Instagram and all of these different things. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me or who are just getting familiar with me, and to reintroduce myself to those of you who have been following me for the past several months. So that's what I want to do tonight. And just to give you, I want to talk a little bit about my 21-year journey on this career path. And the reason why I want to do that is because I know from many of you, from the questions that you're posting in the group to the question that you post to get into the group, and just comments that I see on different social media platforms. My light is wanting to twinkle over there. I know that, a lot of you are where you are in your career trajectory, and you're feeling like you're not where you want to be, or wherever the position that you have is not the one that you want to have, and you want to change and switch and do all kinds of things. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experience and my journey so that you can see if there's anything about it that applies to you or that can help you in your career journey. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So buckle in. And like I said, I left my notes, so we're just going to be talking. We're going to talk tonight and see how everybody. Hello, For Humanity. Thank you for the heart, sweetie. How are you? And we're going to talk about it a little bit tonight. So this is just going to be my reacquainting with all of you guys, the new people, and those of you who have been hanging around for a while. So before I get started, I hope everybody's had a great day and that you're winding down, settling into your evening routines. I want to just introduce myself. I'm Vashana Weatherspoon, career strategist and excellence accelerator, helping women who feel frustrated in their careers to emerge from stuck and surge to their next level of success. That's if I can get my words out tonight. I'm too excited. I have to calm myself down. So anyway, that's the part that you know and that you hear from me all the time. The part that you might not know is how I got to be here and why I am on social media with you every day, talking to you about something that matters to you and to your career, and helping you to figure out how to maneuver some of those sticky situations that you find yourself in your careers, and giving you that encouragement and hopefully that insight that you need to move to that next level for your career so that you can make a better life for yourself, for your families, for your generations to come, because it doesn't just stop with us. We're just one person along, the journey, along the spectrum, along that pathway. So like and share this video if you know someone who needs some help with their careers, or, just invite people so we can just talk here. So what I am going to do is just kind of give you a rundown of why I'm here, because I'm always here. I'm always talking about careers, and sometimes I talk about myself, but not a whole lot. I try to stick to helping you with the issues that you have identified as, things that you really need to have some help with. But sometimes you want to know, why is this person on here talking to me about this? And why should I listen to them? And so this is your opportunity, if that has been in the back of your mind, to understand why I am here and why you should listen to me when it comes to things related to your career and things you should be doing to help you to have the career that you want. Everybody does not want the same thing in their careers. That is absolutely perfectly acceptable, is perfectly okay. We don't all have to want to be the CEOs of the Fortune 500 companies. We can want what we want, and we can decide when it's enough. And because we don't have to all have to, be at the same place, and we don't have to all get there at the same time. We don't have to all be on the 30 under 30 30 under 30 list. Is that the right list? Yeah. So we don't all have to do that. So this is what I want to share with you. So the reason why I am on, and the reason why I come on and I keep talking to you, is because my passion, my purpose is helping people. I am a 21-year veteran in the public arena. So I'm a public servant. I've been a public servant the majority of my career. Everything that I've ever done has been centered around helping other people to improve their lives, and sometimes it goes beyond. Actually, for the majority of the time, it's gone beyond one-on-one. It's been one to many, helping, many people to improve their lives, their health, their welfare, their well-being, their financial situations, their career status. So I started out 21 years ago. And that was my very first job out of college, was as a career counselor. I was helping individuals who had various forms of disabilities. Most of them had learning disabilities, so we sent them to college. So helping them to go to college, get their college education, and find employment that, they could thrive in, that they could make a decent living in. So that's what I started out doing when I was just a pup, fresh out of college. And I did that for 4 years while I went to graduate school part-time. So I used my job helping people to find employment as a way to sponsor or to pay for my graduate education. And it took me 4 years because I did it part-time, because I was working full-time. I was married. I was commuting an hour back and forth. I was doing all kinds of stuff, y'all. So just to let you know. So it took me a while, and then I wasn't in a rush because I was pacing myself, and I already had a job. And the job that I had was actually doing the thing that I had gone to undergraduate school and studied. So, that's 2 out of 2 for me. I'm giving myself some credit here because I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't find a job. I have my college education. I can't find a job in my career field. Well, I am living proof that it's possible. It's possible to find a job without having experience, because I was 21 or 20, whatever I was. I don't even know what I was, but whatever I was, I did not have experience. I did not have professional level experience. Let me say that. I didn't have professional level experience that was commensurate with the degree that I had just earned. I had done volunteer work during the course of my school curriculum. And I had worked other little jobs like everybody else does in college. So I had done those things, but I had not worked as a counselor helping to place people in college and positions and, helping them to be able to maintain their employment or anything like that. None of that. But I was able to get the job that was a perfect fit for the degree that I had earned, and probably more than anything because I didn't let the fact that I didn't have those things stop me from pursuing it. I pursued it anyway. I felt like I had nothing to lose. I had everything to gain and nothing to lose, because the worst that they could do was not hire me, and I wasn't hired at that time anyway, which is why I always tell you guys, don't let something that's written on a job description stop you from applying. If you have the majority of the requirements, you need to apply. And you let them tell you no instead of you telling yourself no. And I'm just a firm believer in that. And that is why I'm a firm believer in that. And so the next thing After I finished up that undergraduate degree and the 4 years of employment where I was working, helping to place people into jobs, then I left. And let me tell you how I left. So I left because I had an opportunity to be part of a very prestigious internship. It's called a presidential, like the President of the United States, the Presidential Management Internship. And so one of my professors in graduate school nominated me. And I was the only person outside of the little clique who worked in the dean's office who got nominated. And I almost missed the opportunity. I almost missed it because somehow my letter didn't come in the mail at the same time that everybody else's came. And when I got word, because I didn't work on campus, I worked at a real job during the day. But when I got word that people had started to receive their notifications, I called. And when I called is how I found out that I needed to be in Dallas, Texas in 3 days. Mind you, I already told you I had a job full time. I had a husband. I had all these different responsibilities. But what I needed to do at that point was to figure out how to get myself from where I was living, which was in Mississippi, to Dallas, Texas within 3 days, and explain that to my supervisor somehow why I needed to suddenly take off and be off work for a few days. But I did. And I did because I knew that this was my one shot. You had one opportunity, or maybe there was 3 different assessment centers, but you chose the one that you wanted to go to. So that was the one that was closest to me. So that was my opportunity to make this thing work. And so I did whatever it took to make things work out. Hello, Evan Andrews. How are you? And so I went for it. And as a result of me going for it, what it led to was getting through that particular assessment panel, and everybody was in there and they were so eager, and it's all these, top of the class people and so forth. And so everybody was, they were really kind of trying to make sure that they were trying to seal their positions is what they were trying to do. And they were being really aggressive, and, they were talking a lot and probably not saying a whole bunch of anything in the opinions of the people who were looking and viewing. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion. And at any rate, but I took a totally different approach, which is more of my personality anyway. I just kind of took a step back and kind of observed everything that was going on and all the interactions. And while I wasn't the one who was, really just mouthing off all kinds of things, because I felt like I needed to kind of understand and digest the situation. And then when I actually had a good sense because we were problem solving. We were solving a problem. And so when I got all the details and everything I needed to do, then I offered my suggestion. And, it was like, oh. So just taking a different approach sometimes is all that it takes. It doesn't mean that you have to be the loudest or you have to be the one who talks the most. You just have to be the one who, when you actually say something, you make it have meaning. And so sometimes that's the right approach. Sometimes that's not the approach that you want to take, and you have to be the judge of that. All of that to say, and I'm telling you my story, but in my story, I'm telling you things that actually apply to you in your career and how you can use some of these things that I've actually done to help you to advance your career to where you want it to go. So we got through all of that stuff. I ended up having to go to Washington, D.C. and do another round of interviews with all the different agencies who were hiring. And then I ended up flying to Atlanta. They were being flown out to Atlanta, as a matter of fact, to interview for one of the agencies that I had met when I was in D.C. And in the process of all of this, I actually ended up getting a job offer. Part of their offer was to pay my student loans. And guess what I did? I turned it down. I turned it down because it's not what I wanted. It wasn't where I wanted it to be. It wasn't the job that I wanted to have. And so I felt that it was better for me at that point to just turn it down and go after the one that I really wanted. Thank you, Alvin. I appreciate that. And so I figured it was better for me to go after the one that I really wanted versus just settling for something that wasn't really what was going to be the best thing for me at that time, because at that time I was actually pregnant with my first child. And so I went and did the interview. It took about a month. I found out later that they had actually selected another person for the job, and that person turned it down. And so it just so happened that I was next in line. And so that's how I ended up with the position. And that position turned from an internship, and it led to a full-time permanent position. And, I had a chance to work myself around in different areas and get a feel for, all the different things that were to be had. It was like, you go out and you see what all is on the menu. So I had a chance to do some sampling and see what thing it is that lined up best with what my interest and my skills and my abilities were. And that's exactly what I did. And in the process of doing that, I had another baby. So life was still happening. So when I talk to you about work-life balance and, how you can manage having a career and having children and all of these things, it's because it's something that I live on a daily basis and I have experience in it. And, people who say, I'm pregnant and I want to start a new job, but I can't, and all XYZ different things, I'm here to tell you that you can. I've done it and I made it work, and it worked out just fine. You just have to, really, you have to talk yourself into things. I find that it's so easy for us to talk ourselves out of things, and we don't spend half that much effort and energy trying to talk ourselves into the thing that we really want. And so, let that be just a little bit of encouragement for someone who is going through something, and maybe for the crowd that I tend to attract, maybe, and I can't say anything certainly, but maybe you're past that point, but it might be something else that you are so quick to talk yourself out of when you really should be taking that effort to talk yourself into it. So, what happened from there? What happened from there was the same thing that happens to a whole lot of other people. In addition to, having a second baby and, climbing each, making progression within the career that I was in. I stayed within the same agency, but went to different levels and learned different things, took on different levels of responsibility within my organization and grew my career. But the thing about it was, for me, I knew that it wasn't the thing that I wanted to do long term. And so I kind of, that's why I would say everybody doesn't want the same thing. I knew that for me, there was no wanting to go from here to there in 3 or 4 years, which is what most people did who had that who came in with me under that presidential management internship, because they really were vested in it and they wanted to be, at the top of the ranks. But for me, I wanted to take mine a little bit slower, because what I knew is that I took this job because I wanted to gain the experience. It wasn't because this was the end all be all for me. I have known for a long time that what I want to do in my career is what I'm doing right now, which is being able to have my own platform to be able to help people to improve themselves, to improve their welfare, to improve the welfare of their families and their children and their children's children, to empower women, to help them to be independent and not dependent on, circumstances and other people for their well-being and for their happiness. That is, what I am really excited about. It gets me excited, which is why I'm always on here talking about your jobs and your careers, so that you can make your own money, so that you can not be a victim of, just circumstances. You have choices, you have options, because you choose to get up every day and go do the things that you need to do so that you can have them. And so that is, part of why I keep coming on and I keep talking. And this thing has not left me for the past 21 years. I knew when I started this career path what I eventually wanted to end up doing, which is why I call this my 21-year path to my career, because it is still progressing and I'm still employed. I'm still employed full time. And so I experience a lot of the things that I talk about on my broadcast. They're everyday experiences for me. except that I'm doing them having them at a different level now. And so I can look at what I have to deal with and the things and situations and scenarios that go on and give you a different perspective on some of the challenges that you are facing in your careers, because I have a different lens. So I know the different sides of it. And it's something that, I take and I utilize when I'm answering questions that people have, or when I'm, actually when I'm just talking about different things. I'm always pulling from those frames of references that I have. And so I have, over the span of that 21 years, done all kinds of things, from helping to create position descriptions, to interviewing and recruiting for different positions, to establishing programs with partners in over 60 plus countries throughout the world, in managing multi-million dollar budgets to help to make all of these things work and go together. So, and a whole lot more beyond that. Let me be for real. It's a whole lot more beyond that. But those are just, just to give you a little bit of my background for one. And, some of the things that I have done, even after I left that first job that I talked about, that still have given me experience and expertise in different areas, so that I can share with you those experiences that I have. So if I tell you things about interviewing, it's because I've been on the selecting end of the interview panel, and I've been the one who's writing the job descriptions to say, this is what I want. And I know that a lot of those are standard, and everything in there is not necessarily what that employer is looking for. So that's why I can tell you those kinds of things. If I tell you about interviewing, it's because I've heard a whole lot of people interviewing for a whole lot of things, and I know what things really stand out, which is versus those things which I probably wouldn't have mentioned, just to be honest with you. And all kind of dilemmas in between. And the funny thing is that even though when I left that first job, I never told anybody what I did before, people still continue to come to me with those same kinds of situations and issues. And what I know is because I know that one of my gifts, not all of my gifts, but one of my gifts is the ability to listen and to let people have the opportunity to feel like they're heard. Now, sometimes if they keep coming to me and telling me the same thing over and over again, I'm like anybody else, my patience gets a little bit thin, and I'm like, okay, how many times are we going to talk about this? Let's get into action. Snap, snap. But I hear you. I hear you, but at that point, it's time to not continue to allow you to engage in that same behavior and thinking you're going to get a different result, because as long as your frame of thinking is there, you're going to continue to stay stuck in that place. And so we have to figure out how to shift that. But I know that is my gift. That's one of my gifts. The other gift is the gift of empathy, which is being able to put myself in the other person's shoes and to feel, understand how they might feel in those particular situations. All of that stuff. There's so many things that we use, so many gifts, so many strengths, so many talents that we have that we might not even acknowledge as that, but they help us to be able to do the things that we are meant to do. So in the process of that 21-year journey, I became very clear about what my purpose is. I became very clear about what my gifts are, about what my strengths are, and what I bring to the table, what my value is in the marketplace. So I am very clear about those things. And it has taken me all of these different experiences that I've had to really help me to get clear on those, because I was just like any other person. A lot of you who write me and say different things, you don't know what you want to do. You don't know what's next. You've lost your passion for what you're doing, but you don't know what your purpose is, and all of these kinds of things. So if I talk to you about something about, your purpose or finding your passion, it's because I have experienced all of those things. I have, when I experienced my divorce actually it started before 2013. Any of you who've had a divorce, you know how that works. But when it was finalized, it was 2013. But that was a process, even just getting to that point. And for me, it was a point of really doing a lot of soul searching, to getting to know myself, getting to really know, and I say know myself, I mean know myself, who I was, without all the trappings, without all the labels as being a mother and a wife and a this or that, but to know myself for the individual that I am, what is true to me, what I really believe, and not something that somebody else told me or somebody else tried to suggest to me. But when I think about, and I sit with the feelings that I feel inside of myself, and that's what I use to gauge from me what is the right thing and what is the wrong thing. And when I sit and I feel peace with a certain thing, then that's how I know it's right for me. And it's not coming from any outside or external forces, because that I think, and I think this is true for everybody. I know this is true for everybody. People like to offer their suggestions and their thoughts and their comments, but what's true for one person is not necessarily true for the next one. So we have to be able to get comfortable with finding out what our own truth is. And so I have gone through this whole process of really learning how to know how to even recognize when something is true for me and something is right for me versus when it's not. And even when other people don't understand the decisions that I'm making, when I have that peace within myself, then that's all I need. And that's all you need. So when you're asking someone else, whether it's, I don't care who it is really, what should I do, or how should I go about this, or XYZ question that you might have. And I always say you already have the answers. You have your own answers. We just have to learn how to tap into those answers, how to trust ourselves that we're making the right decisions for us. And that's really what it boils down to. And that's what that's the thing that really matters. In the end, that's the thing that really matters. So I can talk to you about those things because I've been through that. I know the struggle. I know what it feels like to try to figure out what your purpose is, why you have been placed here on this earth, and, what am I meant to do, and all these things. I know what that feels like. I know how frustrating it can be, but I also know how rewarding it can be when you put in the work, you go through the process, you feel that frustration, and on the other side of it, you come out and you have your answer, and you're very clear and firm and strong in that answer because it's the right answer for you. So I encourage you, if you're going through this particular phase, keep going through it. Keep pushing through it, because in the end, if you keep working toward it, you'll get the answer that you need. And of course, you can solicit people to help you, but you don't want people telling you what to do. You want people who, kind of help you to figure out for yourself what the right thing is. That's the difference. A lot of your family and your friends are going to just tell you, go do X, Y, Z. And that might work or it might not work. It might work, but it might not feel right. It might work, but it might not get you the exact result that you were wanting. It might work and get you with the result that somebody else got. So it's important to talk with somebody who's had the experiences that you have, because they might have some insight that you don't have at this point. But in the end, what you want is someone to help you to be able to uncover your own truths, your own answers, and you get your own clarity. That's what you really want. Okay? So I've gotten off on my soapbox, y'all, because this is the thing that really matters to me, that really resonates with me, if I'm really being very transparent with you right now. But I don't want to keep rambling on tonight. What I really wanted to do is just share a little bit with you about me, about my experience, my career path, the 21 years that it has taken me to get to where I am right now, and why, if I look back on it, I they always say, especially with coaches, when we decide we want to become a coach, we want to throw away everything that we've done that has gotten us to the point where we are. When what we really need to do is embrace all of those things that we had, all of the experience, all of those things, each and every part, the good and the bad, that has brought us to where we are right now, because those are the things that help to make us different, that help to make us unique, and those are the things that help us to achieve the success that we want in our careers. And so the same thing applies for you and in your career. If you want to switch careers, a lot of people want to switch careers. You don't just throw away everything that you've done before that and you want to try to start fresh and anew. You have 20, 15, 20, 10 years, however many years, 30 years worth of experience that you're bringing with you, and all of that counts. All of that matters. And it all helps to make you who you are. So I just wanted to share that with you guys to, like I said, for those of you who don't know my story, who don't know, who are just joining in, just tuning in, just finding me, so you know a little bit more about me and why I am here, why I do what I do, and to let you know that I'm glad you found me. I encourage you to continue to follow me and to let me know, what it is what's on your mind, what you are struggling with, how I can better serve you. I already told you service is what I do. It's all that I know to do. So how I can serve you, how I can help you to be the best person that you can have the career that you want to have, so that you can live the life. Like, I can't even get the words out right. So you can live the life that you want to live. So that is what I wanted to share with you right now. There's going to be more. I am working on some very exciting things for you guys. And based upon different information or different things that you've told me that you need, I'm working on coming up with some solutions that are going to help you to get to where you want to be in your careers, to have that fulfilling, happy, satisfying career that we all want and that a lot of people are not experiencing right now. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing more with you. But for now, this is all I wanted to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.